So yeah, guys, before just starting the session, just a quick survey, a show of hands of the folks who have ever watched a superhero movie. Just raise your hands, or with your kids. Great, great. I think that makes my job a lot more easier today. So the theme of my presentation is insurance superheroes, right? So what it is all about, we'll just cover. So we do understand that. Insurance touches us in various aspects of life, right? Having said that, to get an insurance policy, it itself is a heroic feat for an individual. And what happens is, even as an individual, I also feel sometimes, do superheroes also require a insurance policy? Let's just delve a bit. Talk about Superman. So he has got superpowers, superhuman intelligence, and would he be requiring insurance? Talk about Hulk. Let's take some examples. Hulk, perennially in anger, so much in anger that he destroys his own house. So what happens is he still needs to have some financial, backing to pay up all his bills. Batman, Batmobile, a fantastic car which does get into some accidents during the line of duty. Though Mr. Wayne is a very rich man, having said that, to put the financial burden again on himself for those claims may not be a correct way to do about it. Not only his Batmobile, even his Wayne Mayer. In fact, that gets also destroyed. So he would require some sort of a property or a home insurance going forward. Superman, he has serious kryptonite issues. He would definitely require a health insurance for himself. Won't it be? Spider-Man, kid's favorite. Well, he keeps on jumping from one skyscraper to another, destroys buildings. Well, would require a liability insurance. Needless to say, Iron Man, his arc reactor goes down. Maybe he would require a health insurance for himself, which extends to its arc reactor also. The point is, which I'm trying to come up with, that there are situations where they require some sort of insurance for different kinds, whether it is health, motor, property, liability, etc., or life for that matter, whether it's Flash or a Black Panther. But then, even for superheroes to, get an insurance policy is not that easy. Take, for example, Black Widow. Submitting those repetitive information for getting that life insurance gets boring. Something for the Iron Man. He wants to get his health insurance, all those medical test reports. Even in fact, prior to that, scheduling that itself sometimes takes, it's always challenging. And submitting that. And forget about Hulk. He does not have the patience to submit these documents and that information and interaction to complete his entire customer journey. So what is actually happening to all these superheroes? Why? Why? Because this insurance process in general, whether it is health, life, your general insurance, commercial insurance, all these are cumbersome, complex in nature, a lot of data driven, document driven. There's a lack of personalization, lack of transparency in terms of communicating back and forth with the customer, right? Where exactly my application is, whether it's about a renewal journey itself. He does not get that kind of communication. And in fact, rather, they get more communication rather than that, sometimes in some cases. And all this is kind of a slow process with a lot of, endless waiting time, not getting what the TAT should be. Because what is happening, there is no tying up of all the entire journey. Now, for these superheroes, which they had a lot of thrill in their life going about, it becomes slightly more mundane and risk-free. So what should be insurance companies be doing here, right? They need to be, revamping and relooking their entire end-to-end customer journeys. And what it should not be worked in certain silos. Silos mean to say, you can have a certain, web portal or, omni-channel experience to go about it. Having some AI tools to be working at the back end for certain fraud analysis or mortality rate models to be talked about, or some workflows running in between. No, it needs to be a end-to-end, digital automation platform which orchestrates across the different lines of business and across different processes, whether it's onboarding, servicing, claims, renewals, etc. And what it is, so it's about an end-to-end customer journey after all. Now, what, in fact, somebody in the previous panel, in fact, they were talking about that customers in general, they want an Amazon-like experience, quick delivery of their insurance policies, in which should be faster in nature. And how they require, how can they acquire is more in terms of this automation platform. So here comes a platform which can automate the entire journeys and at scale. And I think scalability was another part in the initial sections, the first panel discussion, where scale over the India market per se is very different compared to wherever you go across the globe. In terms of transaction volumes, documentary volumes, as well as the regulatory and the fintech ecosystem through which you need to work with. So herein, there are those different 4 planets which I have just talked about. First is the process automation. Process automation, utilizing the low-code automation platform to automate the entire customer journey. There it is, as I mentioned, on the low-code from the perspective of onboarding, claims, policy servicing, renewal journeys, etc. And low-code, why low-code? Low-code, basically, you need to market the product quickly, right? And I think that's what the first, in the initial discussions which we had, you don't wait for, say, 12 months or 18 months time frame to roll out a product or roll out a change. The low-code gives that flexibility and power, not only make time to market faster, but also changes as to be required going forward are done properly. Customer engagement, it's more of a communication hub. So you are sending those communication back to the customer in form of emails, SMS, PDFs, etc. Having said that, does the customer define that this is his preferred channel of communication through which he or she wants to engage with? Even if they are engaging it, right? At what time he should be involved with? T-15, T-30 days, right? So what kind of engagement hub you want to talk about? Artificial intelligence, big buzzword, AI, Gen AI, but what are the actual use cases in between? What are those models? Whether it is a, morbidity model, mortality model you're talking about, fraud analysis, risk assessment, completely business rules driven scenarios to work with in conjunction with your engagement model and your low-code platform. And the content. So as it is a highly regulated industry, content needs to be stored and archived for long-term storage and preservation, both from the perspective of regulatory and compliance perspective, but also those, things like smarter document management in terms of OCRing the documents, extracting and auto-classify. So this becomes a part of a unified automation platform rather than working in silos across the insurance operations journey, across the different lines of business. So where I'm coming from, earlier it used to be, in fact still is in a lot of places, a product-centric approach rather than a customer-centric approach. So we need to move from a product-centric to customer-centric, and the operational journeys need to tie with those customer journeys which I talked about, whether it is reduced turnaround time, compliance, etc. So mention of a platform, let's now get into certain specific. Let's take an example right now. Take, for example, health insurance and see how a low-code based process automation platform can help orchestrate this entire end-to-end journey. Say, for example, there are a lot of, it is complex in nature, the health insurance. You have got manual tasks are there. Each customer is unique. Their requirements are unique. There will be a lot of ad hocism in terms to process that. So how you're going to do that without being late with the customer? So need to be 100% digital from the time of onboarding till the time of on the spot claims. Policy owner servicing needs to be responsive in real time. And if possible, going further, we are thinking about a lifestyle linkages. I'll cover all these 4 aspects quickly during my presentation. Say, for example, real-time onboarding. You can use your Aadhaar, IDs, etc. to authenticate on board. That's the authentication of the individual. Next is validating that particular document which he or she is submitting, utilizing the intelligent document processing, auto extraction, utilizing the Gen AI capabilities, right, of document management itself, and then auto fetch details, auto extract that details so as to faster process that data, and push it back to the back ops team to work on that. Personalize. Well, this is again a word being talked about a lot during the sessions. You have got a certain segment of the customer. You use your AI models to segment and set across. These are the best possible products which he or she should look into, rather than you suggesting it to them. They are coming back to you as a consultant or an advisor while you're doing a more of a buy-based sell. And then the hyper personalization. Now this is for the individually. So individually, I've got my smartwatch or wearables. A lot of other geos, what they are doing is they are getting that data based on the consent and define what can be a risk assessment can be done for them. Maybe a 30% discount on premium. Just before a while back, we were talking about certain fintech companies. They actually can look at a person's face and suggest whether the person is a mild smoker or not, and accordingly define those different business rules and AI models accordingly, right? Auto fetch medical history through EHR system with the advent of Abha and getting propagated slowly and slowly, and with the government push, you will get that entire MR report going further and doing a complete holistic assessment of the individual. Yes, there will be certain unique scenarios as well in terms of which we call as case management, ad hocism. Say, for example, an astronaut, he has got a unique scenario, he's exposed to a lot of radiation. How will you try to assess that? That assessment has to be different. So can that system, though you have defined a predefined workflows, predefined business rules, predefined AI models, has the capability to manage that ad hocism, which will keep on coming and perform with that same response rate which you have defined for a set of customers? Yes, you can do that utilizing those generative AI tools for analytics. And yes, as we have seen, typically in insurance industry or anywhere else as well, the time it takes, the more the time it takes to process any customer's application, the lesser is its retention rate going forward. Now, though banking industry has gone ahead with their onboarding, digital lending platforms for multiple lines of business, insurance industry is slowly right up there, coming up there. Same goes for say for example, the claims, on the spot claims assessment, be it for the health, for certain set of diseases, certain set of situations where the entire documentation is available, the limit is already being provided by your AI tools, and it can be serviced digitally. So what we are talking about, this is on the auto classify, auto process, and put it in a workflow to do a complete STP processing of the individuals. Then those AI and business rules to verify claims, coverage check, fraud checks, risk assessments, which are important, as well as those AI models for mortality, morbidity rates, etc., can also be ingested for faster dispersal of those individuals. Needless to say, you can tie, so where I'm coming from, going further, and this is my final concluding slide. So going further, tying all the customer journeys is important, and for your end-to-end customer journey, automations. And Newgen can help in providing that tool to do that digital transformation. So Newgen is there to partner with you to help that particular journey and make your end customers as superheroes as they should be. So with that, thank you so much. We are available here at the booth. Happy to answer any questions, queries which you have. Thank you so much.